Yes, with Eric, we are getting ready to have that wonderful nap. We're going to get up in the morning with Janice and we're going to go to the marketplace and we're going to go ahead and get everything taken care of as part of the deal.
You lock the door behind you, the sound of the lock clicking providing a small sense of security in the bustling inn. You take a moment to wash up at the basin, the cool water refreshing after the day's events. Drying your face with a linen cloth, you approach the window, pulling it open slightly to let in the cool night air of Lanford. The distant sounds of the city at night drift in, a soothing backdrop to your thoughts. Lying in bed, sleep still eludes you. Your mind, a whirlpool of recent events, refuses to quiet down. As you toss and turn, seeking a fleeting moment of rest, an unexpected sound jolts you to alertness. In the stillness of the night, the creak of the balcony door shatters the silence of your room at the Golden Sparrow Inn. Your heart pounds as you spot a figure cloaked in shadows, advancing with a blade gleaming in the faint moonlight. The silhouette moves with a predatory elegance, swiftly closing in. Moonlight flickers off the cold, metallic blade, a silent omen of impending danger. You dodge, but not fast enough. The dagger slices your shoulder, ripping through fabric and flesh. A sharp pain jolts through you, a vivid reminder of the imminent threat. You grimace, feeling blood seep from the wound, but there's no time to ponder the pain. Adrenaline sharpens your senses, focusing your mind despite the agony. The attacker, a mere wraith in the dim light, is unrelenting, their movements methodical and ruthless. This is a fight for survival. I scramble to my feet, ignoring the pain in my shoulder. Your mind whirls, trying to predict their next attack. They strike again, with lethal precision. You defend yourself, drawing on every bit of your training and instinct. It's a desperate battle for life, every learned skill is now crucial. The blade dances through the air, a deadly ballet. You're locked in a perilous duel, each evasion a temporary reprieve from death's embrace. But you refuse to yield, fighting against the looming peril. In a moment of desperation, you dive for the nightstand. Your heart races as you grab the room service bell, the only available tool for distraction. The attacker is close, their blade slicing the air with fatal purpose. Fate intervenes with a twist. You stumble on the rug, an accidental move that turns advantageous. Clutching the bell, you fall, its ring loud and dissonant, shattering the night's quiet. The sound is startling, a harsh melody that reverberates through the inn's halls, a cry for help. The assailant halts, outlined against the moonlit balcony. Their aggressive stance falters, uncertainty seeping in as the bell's clamor persists. This brief hesitation is all you need. In that moment, the shadowy figure reassesses, contemplating the risk of discovery versus their mission. Then, they retreat into the shadows with a fluid motion, leaving only a whispered, "Till we meet again," a sinister vow carried by the night wind. There's a rush of movement, a soft thud, and then she's gone, vanished with only her words and the bell's lingering chime as evidence of the encounter that nearly cost you your life. The sudden loud noise and ensuing chaos quickly draw attention. Within moments, the door to your room bursts open, revealing a concerned Olivia, the innkeeper, accompanied by several curious patrons of the Golden Sparrow Inn. Their expressions range from worry to fascination, all eyes intently focused on the disheveled scene. What in the name of dried Elon happened here? Olivia exclaims, quickly scanning the room, taking in the signs of a recent scuffle: an overturned chair, a dislodged rug, and the lingering aroma of smoke.
These are good choices. I got 5 decent choices. I will go with 4. No, 4. Yeah, 4 sounds like something I would say. A reminder that danger can find us in the most unexpected of places, but with preparedness and calm, we can overcome.
Olivia steps forward, her look transitioning from worry to an analytical one. Trouble isn't new to my inn, but this type is unprecedented, she comments, meticulously surveying the room for additional damage or threats. Behind her, the patrons murmur, their intrigue heightened by the night's disturbances. You overhear fragments of their conversations, as they begin to weave speculations and rumors. Olivia addresses the bystanders. All right, return to your rooms, everyone. There's nothing more to witness here, she orders, guiding them away. Her demeanor is assertive, yet it carries a note of concern, particularly when she looks back at you. Are you injured? She inquires, examining you for any wounds.
Let's see what it is. 1. I'm fine. I've had worse. No. Let's see. Yes. The only thing hurt was my pride. You respond, offering a wry smile to lighten the mood. Despite the recent turmoil, you find a moment of liberty, seeking to ease the tension in the room.
Olivia chuckles in response, her face brightening with a mixture of amusement and relief. Pride can be mended easier than bones, at least, she replies with a twinkle in her eye. She assesses you one last time, ensuring that your comment holds truth and that you truly are unharmed. Well, rest up and try to keep your room in one piece, she advises with a playful smirk. And maybe try to keep your pride intact next time. Her words carry the lightheartedness of someone accustomed to handling a range of situations, balancing concern with a touch of humor.
Thanks, Olivia. You respond, appreciating her concern.
Olivia nods in response, pleased to see her hospitality appreciated. You're welcome. Just ring the bell if you need anything, she says, pointing towards a small bell on the bedside table. With a final reassuring smile, she exits the room, closing the door gently behind her. As the door closes behind Olivia, the silence of the room quickly envelopes you. The adrenaline from the encounter with the mysterious assailant begins to ebb away, replaced by a creeping exhaustion. Your mind replays the events of the night, the sudden attack, the assailant's haunting words, and her abrupt disappearance. Questions swirl in your mind, but they are gradually overshadowed by the weariness that grips your body. You find solace in the bed, allowing the fatigue to take over, your consciousness drifting into the realm of sleep. The events of the night fade into the background as you surrender to the much-needed rest. The next morning, the first rays of sunlight filter through the window, stirring you awake. As you sit up, rubbing the sleep from your eyes, you notice something unusual, a note placed on your bedside stand. Picking it up, you read the cryptic message, I know who attacked you. Meet me in the deranged hermit at dusk. A chill runs down your spine. Who could have left this note? And how did they enter your room without waking you? The possibility of it being a trap crosses your mind, but then why not just attack you in your sleep? Why this elaborate invitation? And, most importantly, where is this place? Return to the world map.
Yes, let me talk to Olivia. She will know the answer.
You approach the bar, where Olivia, the innkeeper, polishes a glass with a practiced hand. Her auburn hair cascades over her shoulders, framing a face that carries the light of hospitality and the grace of the hearth. She looks up and greets you with a warm smile.
It seems that what I'm looking for is not here, so I'm gonna have to go and do something else. We'll talk later.
Of course, Olivia replies understandingly. Take your time. The Golden Sparrow is your home as long as you're here. If you need anything or just want to chat, you know where to find me, she says with a friendly nod, giving you space to relax and explore the inn at your own pace. Return to the world map.
Inside the inn, lodgings. Yes, inside the inn.
The Golden Sparrow's taproom is filled with the lively hum of conversation and the clinking of glasses, a stark contrast to the tension-filled air between you and Janice. Seated at a corner table with mugs of ale, you recount the harrowing encounter with the mysterious assassin to Janice. His reaction is immediate and visceral. By the gods! Someone dared to attack you in your sleep. Janice exclaims, his voice a mix of outrage and concern. His hand instinctively clenches into a fist, as if ready to confront the assailant right then and there. We should be out there, turning over every stone, smashing a few skulls if we must, to find who's responsible for this. Before he can work himself into further fury, you interject, pulling the mysterious note from your pocket. There's more, you say, unfolding the note and laying it on the table. I know who attacked you. Meet me in the Deranged Hermit at dusk. Janice leans in to read the note, his initial fury giving way to a furrowed brow of intrigue. The Deranged Hermit, huh, he mutters, his tone laced with skepticism. Sounds like a trap, but it might be our only lead. Do you know this place, you ask, hoping Janice might have some local knowledge. Janice shakes his head, his expression grim. No, I haven't had the pleasure. Got thrown in the clink before I could get a proper lay of the land. But I'm guessing it's the kind of place where you'd find fine ale and good company. As you both contemplate the next move, Olivia, the innkeeper, approaches your table with her usual attentive demeanor. Everything all right here, Janice? You look like you're planning a siege, she comments with a half smile, trying to lighten the mood. We might just be, Janice replies dryly, then glances at you to continue.
Yes, we're thinking of heading to the Deranged Hermit. Ever heard of it? You asked Olivia, hoping she might shed some light on the place.
At the mention of the Deranged Hermit, Olivia's demeanor shifts noticeably. Her usual composed expression gives way to a look of mild shock. It's clear that the name of the establishment carries a bad reputation, even among the locals. The Deranged Hermit. Olivia repeats, her voice lowering slightly. Yes, I've heard of it, but it's not the sort of place anyone would recommend. It's over in the shanty town, known for being a haven for, let's just say, the less savory characters of Lanford. We have some business there, you explain, trying to ease her concerns without divulging too much. Olivia nods, though her expression still shows traces of worry. Just, watch your back, all right? With a final look, Olivia turns to attend to other patrons, leaving you and Janice to contemplate your next move. We will, you assure her, appreciating her concern. After finishing your drinks, you and Janice stand up, ready to leave. The Golden Sparrow, with its warm and lively atmosphere, contrasts sharply with the silent streets of Lanford awaiting you outside. The taproom of the Golden Sparrow, with its lively chatter and warm atmosphere, fades into the background as you step towards the door. The night outside awaits, its shadows holding both risk and opportunity. Return to the world map.
Okay, where is the hermit? Is it marked? It's the market. Okay, residential, residential. Let's say it's going to be, oh, that's the bridge. So let's go here. Knight's Embrace. Let's see. Stores are closed. Let's ask the fence. Maybe he knows.
In a narrow, dimly lit alleyway, a figure leans against the wall, adjusting the cuffs of his immaculate coat with slow, deliberate precision. As you step closer, the flickering light of a lantern catches a glint in his eye. Isaac, the man who always knows a guy, always has a deal, and never asks too many questions. Back again so soon? Either I got something you liked, or you got a taste for the finer things in life, he chuckles, adjusting the lapel of his impeccably tailored jacket. Go on then, tell ol' Isaac what you are after this time. We will see if we can make it, disappear from wherever it is sittin' now.
Perhaps another time. Okay, we go here. Lodge posting. No. Barrier. Residential district. Oh, I'm here and it's, well, let's go in. I'm back at night. So I missed it. Well, it was hard to find it, okay? Okay, but that's fine. I'll just go back up. I'm down to 4, 2, exhausted. Exhausted? Let's go to the market. Ah, what is it? Midday peak. Lunsford's marketplace buzzes with life, a center of trade and chatter. Stalls brim with produce, fabrics, and crafts as locals and visitors haggle. Scents of fresh bread, herbs, and smitted metal fill the air. Grand architecture above speaks to the town's prosperity and past. Murmurs of haggling mixed with children's laughter, forming the town's vibrant heartbeat. While we're here, we can do some talking. Who can we talk to? Garrett? We'll go at Garrett first.
Amidst the fiery glow and rhythmic hammering, Garrett's forge stands as a testament to the art of weapon crafting. Swords, daggers, and axes of all kinds line the smoky interior, each reflecting the stories and battles they're destined to join. Hear the melody of metal, friend. Garrett's my name, blades are my fame. Each weapon I forge carries a whisper of battles past and echoes of glory to come. Tell me, what's the song of your battle?
I'll go at two. Garrett, there's talk of thefts. Have you seen anything out of the ordinary?
Garrett, his muscular arms glistening with sweat, sets his hammer down on the anvil, the sound echoing solemnly through the forge. He wipes his forehead with a tattered rag, leaving a streak of soot across his weathered skin. Yes, he says, his voice deep and resonant like the fires he tends. Lately, the shadows linger longer, and not just the usual kind that haunt these parts at night. Shadows. Have you seen anyone specific or noticed anything unusual on the nights of the thefts? He leans closer, his face half hidden by the play of light and shadow, giving him a grave, thoughtful look. It's difficult to be certain, but the figure I glimpsed moved with an unusual deliberation, not like the aimless drifters or the hurried townsfolk. And the air, it felt charged, heavy with an unspoken dread, especially the night my dagger disappeared.
You believe they were after your dagger specifically?
Garrett pauses, his gaze drifting towards the forge as if lost in the memory. Perhaps. But it's more than that. There was an unsettling quality to their presence, a chill that seemed to seep into the very stones of the forge. They didn't just bring darkness, they brought a cold that was almost otherworldly. This dagger of yours, what does it look like? With a light in his eyes, Garrett speaks passionately, it's a piece of my soul, that dagger. Crafted with a blade that sings of the river's flow, and a hilt adorned with rubies as deep as twilight. It's more than a weapon, it's a work of art, a testament to the craft. I'll keep an eye out. Anything else? Any unfamiliar faces around? Garrett pauses, his eyes narrowing as he casts his mind back to the days before the theft. The forge's glow paints his features with a contemplative sheen. Now that you mention it, there was a stranger, cloaked and elusive. Seemed more interested in the comings and goings of the district than any goods. They never approached, but they were always there, at the periphery. He sighs, the lines of worry etching deeper into his brow. Their face was hidden, shrouded beneath a hood. But there was a certain chill about them, a disquieting aura. It's odd, even the most reserved patrons reveal some curiosity about the forge's works, but not this one. They were like a wraith, a cold specter lingering in the margins. Thanks, Garrett. I appreciate your help. Garrett gives a solemn nod, the usual spark in his eyes tempered by the gravity of the situation. Keep your wits about you. The sort of person behind this is no common thief. And should you cross paths with my dagger? As you leave the forge, the steady rhythm of hammer on anvil picks up once more, a persistent reminder of the unyielding spirit that defines the merchant's district.
The Hammersmith will go with you.
Illyra's armory is a stronghold of safety and craftsmanship. The walls are adorned with shields, breastplates, and helmets, each piece a masterpiece promising to turn any bearer into a legend on the battlefield. Stand strong against the storm of steel. Illyra, at your service. I don't just forge armor, I craft legacies. Tell me your fears, and together we'll forge your shield against them.
I'm here about the recent thefts in the district. You began observantly her carefully. Have you noticed anything unusual or anyone out of the ordinary around here?
Illyra sets down her tools, her brow furrowing slightly as she considers your question. Theft is a plague on our community, she says with a tone of disdain. I've kept a vigilant watch, and while I haven't seen anything personally, there's a tension in the air, a sense that we're all waiting for the other shoe to drop. Have you seen any strange figures or noticed anything missing from your shop? She shakes her head, her hair catching the light like strands of spun metal. No strangers to speak of, but then, I'm not one for letting just anyone wander in. As for missing items, every piece of armor here is accounted for. I run a tight ship, and nothing leaves these walls without my say-so. Is there anything else you can tell me? Anything at all that might help? Illyra leans in, her gaze steady and serious. Keep an eye on the shadows, traveler. In times like these, it's not just what you see that matters, but also what lurks just out of sight. If this thief or thieves can breach the defenses of our district, then no one is safe. We must stand united and keep our eyes open. Thank you, Illyra. I'll keep that in mind. Stay vigilant. With a final nod of acknowledgement, Illyra turns back to her work, the sound of her hammering resuming its steady rhythm.
Yes, the general store. I will go there.
Horton's General Store is a cornucopia of necessities and oddities. From rope to rations, lanterns to lore books, this cozy shop is a one-stop for all adventurers seeking to stock up for their next journey. Every journey's fueled by little things, a good pot, a sharp quill, a sturdy pair of boots. Oh, and a potion, of course, for when things go sideways. Which they always do. Name's Horton, keeper of the mundane, supplier of the essentials. Need a lockpick? A lore book? A ladle? My shelves hide tales of 100 adventures, and not all of them ended well.
You approach, keeping your voice low and non-threatening. Horton, I'm looking into the recent thefts. Have you noticed anything unusual, or can you tell me about anyone out of the ordinary?
Horton glances up, his eyes flicking to the door, the windows, then back to you. His fingers tap an uneasy rhythm on the counter before gripping the edge like a man holding onto a raft. Oh, now, I don't know about any of that. Things go missing all the time, don't they? Lost and found and lost. That is the way of the world. I. One day you got a thing, next day it is someone else's thing. That is just how it goes. Horton, anything you tell me can help. It's important to get to the bottom of this. He shakes his head, stepping back as if distance alone could keep trouble at bay. No, no, I'd rather not get mixed up in all that. Best not to stir the pot, you know? Got a store to run, mouths to feed. Folk who meddle, well, folk who meddle end up in stories, and not always the good kind. Have you spotted anyone specific, or noticed anything unusual on the nights in question? You press gently, trying to reassure him. But Horton is already shaking his head more firmly, backing up like a man who knows when to make himself scarce. Oh no, no, I am just a simple merchant, me. Nothing but pots and provisions, no business with matters bigger than my shop. You should talk to the guards, they are the ones for dealin' with things like this. Not old Horton, no sir, no thank you. Alright, Horton. I understand. If you think of anything, I'm staying at the Golden Sparrow Inn, you say, offering a sympathetic nod before turning to leave. As you exit the store, the sound of the door chime feels like a punctuation mark to the conversation. Horton's fear is tangible, leaving a lingering unease in the air.
The tailor. We will visit the tailor. See what he has to say.
Luis's boutique is a tapestry of color and texture. Fine fabrics, elegant gowns, and sturdy cloaks hang beside an array of threads and needles, awaiting the next story they'll tell through their intricate designs. Ah, the fabric of fate brings us together once more. I am Luis, master of stitches, sculptor of style, and believer that every ensemble tells a tale. So, tell me, darling, what color sings to your soul? What pattern sets your heart aflutter?
Louis, I am investigating the recent thefts in the district. Have you noticed anything unusual or anyone out of the ordinary?
Luis's hands pause mid-stitch, his fingers lingering on the fabric as if afraid to let go. He glances up, eyes flicking to the boutique's corners, searching for secrets where none should be. Unusual? No, no, darling, I cannot say that I have. The marketplace is always abuzz with all sorts, a veritable parade of misfits and marvels. It is difficult to keep track. Yet his voice betrays him, the melody of his usual flair trembling at the edges. His vibrance has dulled, his intuition clouded. For the first time, Luis looks like a man who would rather not know the answers. Are you sure? Even the smallest detail might help, you urge, picking up on the subtle tremor of concern in Luis's behavior. With a sharp glance over his shoulder, as though the mannequins themselves might whisper his words to unwelcome ears, Luis leans in, his usually honeyed tone reduced to a breath. Please, my only desire is to keep my shop a sanctuary, a haven for beauty, not a battleground for shadows. To speak further. He swallows, the swallow of a man who knows too much but wishes he did not. It could invite perils beyond mere theft. Believe me, dear, the darkness in the city he shudders, as if feeling the weight of unseen eyes, it watches. It listens. Shadows. Have you spotted anyone specific, or anything unusual on the nights in question? Luis folds his arms, gripping the fine linen of his sleeves as though they might shield him from the thoughts unraveling in his mind. There has been a presence, he murmurs, his voice a threadbare whisper. Mysterious. Elusive. It drifts through the alleys like a ghost stitching itself between the lamplight. They have never stepped through my door, yet I feel them, like a cold breeze slipping beneath the warmth. He exhales, rubbing his arms as if to ward off a chill only he can feel. The nights of the thefts, something in the air shifts. I sense it. Even my fabrics quiver, as though whispering to me of something dreadful. This figure, can you describe them? Anything at all could aid in my search. Luis's gaze falls to a bolt of silk, his fingers caressing its smooth surface as though seeking comfort in its familiarity. They are a shadow. Not a person, not truly. A silhouette more than a form. His lips press together, his usual flair tempered by unease. But one thing is certain: the way they move. Fluid, effortless, like the very cloth that surrounds us. A predator wrapped in elegance. So, from what you're saying, you don't believe the Thieves' Guild is responsible for this, or could it be something else? Luis casts a wary glance around, his fingers adjusting the folds of a velvet curtain as if they might shield him from the weight of his own words. The Thieves' Guild, bless their audacity, are predictable creatures. They steal, yes, but they steal for profit, for gain, for mischief. There is a rhythm to their crimes, a charm to their arrogance. His voice drops lower, a shiver creeping into his normally rich tone. This is different. This is not just about trinkets or coin. It is as if something greater is being stolen each night. Not just things, but peace. A sense of safety, unraveling thread by thread. Thank you, Louise. Your perception gives me a lot to consider. Stay safe, and if you remember anything else, no matter how small, please let me know. Luis exhales, smoothing down the front of his meticulously embroidered vest, as if steadying himself. Then, with a flicker of his usual dramatic flair, he offers a half smile. Oh, darling, do not mistake my nerves for weakness. I am no stranger to danger. Fashion is a battlefield, after all. But should anything else unravel before me, you shall be the first to know. And do take care of yourself as well. Beauty is fleeting, and it would be such a tragedy to see yours marred by something so uncouth as peril.
The Alchemist.
Bottles fizz and flasks bubble in the mysterious ambience of Thalia's alchemy. Shelves lined with potions of every hue whisper of health, strength, and secrets, inviting those who seek to unlock the mysteries within. Ah, drawn in by the promise of something tempting, are we? I am Thalia, brewer of the impossible, mistress of the unknown. Tell me, love, what is it you desire? Or shall we see which potion desires you?
I'm investigating the recent thefts. You began closely observing her reaction. Have you noticed anything unusual? Or is there anything missing from your store?
Thalia sets her stirring rod down, her fingers lingering just a moment longer than necessary. Her gaze flickers toward you, slow and knowing. Indeed, something valuable has been taken. A rare batch of wolfsbane extract, potent and perilous, especially in unskilled hands. It is not the sort of thing a common thief would think to steal, nor would they know how to handle it without courting disaster. Wolfsbane extract, you inquire, unfamiliar with the substance. Yes, wolfsbane. A plant of power and poison, feared and revered alike. In small, careful doses, it can ward off certain creatures, even find its place in medicine. But in greater amounts. Her fingers trace the rim of a nearby flask. It is death, swift and unforgiving. The extract is especially potent. Not something handled by amateurs. Not something stolen by accident.
Do you have any idea who might be knowledgeable enough to want something like that, or why?
Thalia's fingers trace the rim of a delicate glass vial, her expression unreadable. Several possibilities, she muses, her voice thoughtful, almost teasing. An apothecary? A healer? Possible, but unlikely. They would have their own sources, ones far less risky than outright theft. She leans in slightly, her eyes glinting in the candlelight. Then there are others. Those with darker trades. Assassins. Poisoners. Practitioners of arcane arts who dabble in forces best left undisturbed. Her smile is slow, almost indulgent. As for why, wolfsbane has its uses. A weapon against certain unnatural beings, a key ingredient in poisons not easily traced. Whoever took it had a reason, a target in mind, or a buyer waiting. But without more to go on, we are left with shadows and whispers. Love. Can you speak more plainly, as I have no idea what you're talking about, you request, your patience waning. Thalia's gaze softens, the usual playfulness in her eyes dimming as she recognizes your frustration. Ah, love, forgive me. Clarity is such a rare thing in matters like these, is it not? She exhales, rolling her shoulders as if settling into a more serious demeanor. Wolfsbane, also known as aconite, has long been tied to legends of protection and destruction. In folklore, it burns through the blood of werewolves, a poison made for those who shift beneath the moon. She tilts her head slightly, watching you carefully. But in the hands of one who truly understands its nature, it becomes far more than just a hunter's tool. Aconite can be refined into a poison that kills without mercy, a weapon that does not discriminate between beast and man. Thank you, Thalia. I'll be staying at the Golden Sparrow if you think of anything else. Thalia's eyes linger on you, her gaze slow and deliberate, like a cat watching a particularly intriguing mouse. The corner of her lips lifts, not quite a smirk, not quite a smile, something in between, something that promises more than it says. If anything comes to my attention, you will be the first to know, she murmurs, her voice dipping into something softer, something more inviting. Then, with a measured tilt of her head, she repeats, the Golden Sparrow, you say. A pause, just long enough to let the words settle between you. Now, tell me, love, is this a business-only invitation? She leans in ever so slightly, the ambient light of the shop casting a warm glow over her features, accentuating the curve of her lips, the knowing gleam in her eyes. After all, she continues, voice smooth as silk, a seeker of truth such as yourself might find that some secrets are best shared over a quiet evening, somewhere far from prying eyes. Clearing your throat awkwardly, you feel a slight flush rise to your cheeks. Your help was invaluable, you manage to say, maintaining a professional and grateful tone. With a polite nod, you turn and exit the shop. The cool air of the street a welcome relief as you mentally prepare for the next steps in your investigation.
All right, then lastly, we'll go to the occultist, who most likely will give me any information that I need.
Shrouded in shadow and whispers, Mordred's occult is a trove of forbidden artifacts and ancient tomes. Each item pulses with an unseen power, calling to those who dare to wield the unknown. Ah, the aura of curiosity surrounds you. Mordred, at your beck and call. My relics? They're not for the faint of heart. Dare to glimpse the unknown?
Mordred, I'm investigating the thefts that have been unsettling the district. I've heard you might have insights others don't. Have you noticed anything unusual? You inquire, your voice respectful in the face of his silent authority.
Mordred regards you for a moment, his gaze assessing. Then, with a slight nod, he leans forward, his voice a low rumble. Unusual is a relative term in my line of work. But yes, there have been disturbances. Shifts in the shadows that even I find disconcerting. Disturbances. I've been told that the nature of these thefts doesn't quite fit the usual pattern. What's your take on it? He glances around the store, as if ensuring the privacy of your conversation. My take is that we're dealing with something far more ancient and malevolent than petty thieves or even the Thieves' Guild. The air reeks of an old hunger, a lurking dread that whispers of the undead. Vampires, to be precise. Vampires. Mordred nods slowly, his expression grave. It's surprising that you don't seem all that surprised, he admits. It wouldn't be the first time such creatures have walked among us mortals, drawn by the life and vibrancy of a place like this. The thefts, the way they've escalated, the fear they've sown, it's all part of the feeding. Not just on blood, but on terror, on the very essence of life. I've encountered undead in Emerald Basin, so let's say that makes sense. Why would they be involved in petty thefts? That doesn't sound very vampiric. Mordred's eyes narrow slightly, a hint of a sardonic smile playing at the corners of his mouth. Ah, but you see, to a vampire, the game is as much about the hunt as it is about the feast. They are creatures of cunning and cruelty, they revel not just in the sustenance they draw from life but in the chaos and despair they sow. Each stolen item, each moment of fear and uncertainty, it's all a part of their twisted form of entertainment. He picks up an ancient-looking amulet, turning it over in his hands contemplatively. Furthermore, consider that what might seem petty to us could hold a different value to beings that perceive the world through a lens of centuries. A seemingly insignificant trinket might be a relic of their past, a tool to further their dark agendas, or simply a means to confuse and frighten their prey. The thefts also serve a practical purpose. They destabilize the community, create rifts and suspicion. In the ensuing chaos, it's easier for them to move unseen, to strike where they will. Fear is a powerful weapon, and vampires wield it masterfully. If vampires are indeed behind this, how do we stop them? You mentioned exposing them, but what else should I be aware of? Mordred sets the amulet down, his gaze meeting yours with an intensity that holds the weight of his knowledge and experience. Knowledge is your first weapon. Learn all you can about these creatures, their habits and their weaknesses. Legends speak of sunlight, holy symbols, and even garlic. Silver is said to be universally potent against the undead. Its purity disrupts their unholy existence. And most importantly, he continues, do not underestimate them. They are predators of the highest order. Cunning, patient, and utterly ruthless. You must be equally resolute, equally cunning, if you hope to prevail. Armed with this new, ominous knowledge, you thank Mordred and step back into the daylight, the sounds of the bustling district now underscored with a sinister whisper only you can hear.
Yes, I'm gonna wrap it up right here. And after this, I guess I'll go visit the captain and give him a report. So thank you for watching my adventure so far and have a nice day.